Welcome, Elizabeth.
Well, it's lovely to be here. Thank you.
Elizabeth is going to be one of 32 authors at the Fall Book Festival in Greer, South Carolina, and we are going to have a wonderful time at the historic Greer Depot. So trains may happen by. So tell us about the books that you're going to be bringing with you. What should we expect?
Well, my main one is a historical romance. It's called Arden's Act. Um, it is set during the uh, English Restoration when King Charles II came back to the throne after the protectorate of Cromwell, and it also happens to be the time when the first uh, women were allowed on the London stage. You know how
Ooh.
in Shakespeare's time it was all like guys in drag playing
Hmm.
the women's parts. Well, when they finally let women play their own parts, uh,
Which just sounds really bizarre.
I know, right? And this was during when King Charles came back to the throne, and the heroine of my book is a fictionalized one of these actresses. I mean,
Hmm.
there are certainly historical figures that we know, but I made one up to take my liberties with everything. And she's one of these actresses, and she meets several interesting gentlemen. One is a future lord, and the other is one of the assistant writers at the theater. And the king himself winds up taking an interest in her as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. So, what other books are you going to be having along with that?
Okay. Well, I also have. Ah, that's where it got to. All right. I also have a book of short stories.
Ooh.
It's called Crossings, and the the reason it's called Crossings is it's about boundaries of either psychological or cultural or even reality, uh, or the boundary between life and death. There's all different sorts of short stories in several different genres. There's a couple fantasy stories, um, a couple that are more literary. One's about reincarnation. It's fun, I think, but of course I'm biased. And then I have one more that I just put out recently. It's just a little volume of poetry,
Ooh.
and
Love
uh,
that cover.
I know I loved it too. I had it designed, and they did exactly what I wanted.
Oh,
So
that's even better.
yeah, but it's called Everyday Romantic Doggerel because I'm I'm not really a poet. I mean,
Mm.
I have a good friend who went through the MFA program in at MSU, and he's been in all sorts of literary magazines, and I dedicated it to him in the uh, like. There's a beginning preface where I talk about him being a real poet who and he studied this, he knows what he's doing. I, on the other hand, am just messing around. However, I have been reading some of these at a little show I'm a part of in Austin,
Mm.
and they've been quite well received in that environment. So it's a lot of fun.
Spoken word is always so much fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I love going and listening. I have not been brave enough to participate other than listening.
yeah, it was like, my friend got this show together, and I said, "Well, I could do this," and but it was more on a basis of, "Well, let's try it and see how it." And I was like pleasantly surprised at how it went over. So yeah,
That is awesome.
yeah.
So what else do you have? Do you have anything else that you'll be bringing with you or
Well, I have a stage play, and
Mhm.
I probably will bring a few copies of that. And I was hoping to have the update of my kind of literary criticism book that I did on. I don't know if anybody out there knows about the Pendergast series by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child, but
it sounds familiar.
I have done a book on their best villain in
Okay.
in my my humble opinion. With their permission, they're very wonderful gentlemen, and
Oh.
they graciously allowed me to do this. And it's Diogenes Pendergast, who happens to be the main character's serial killer brother,
Mhm.
and so it's and I originally put this out there around like 2016, but they've
Mhm.
done a lot more books since then that have Diogenes in them. So I'm updating it at the current time. I'd love to have it done by the time of the festival, but I'm just not sure we will at this point.
It's a big question mark whether that's
Yes,
going to get done.
yes,
I
but it will
completely
get
understand.
done.
Yeah, I have one that's the goal is to have it on the table for October. We'll see.
Yes, it's good to have goals. As
Whether or not we actually get there,
yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing those on the table. Um, what else do you have in the works?
Oh, I'm working. I mean, oh my goodness. After I finish with that update on the Diogenes book, as I call it, I'm also working on a kind of contemporary women's fiction about people, women in their late 50s. And the the frame of the book is how, when you get to be a certain age, how you have to get up in the middle of the night a lot to go to the bathroom. So the title is Notes from the Midnight Throne.
Oh man.
And I had that out in serial form on the Amazon Vella,
Mhm.
but that program closed, and it wasn't finished when I closed. But I
Mhm.
am definitely going to finish it up and put it out as a book. And also similar. I had another Vella that was a fantasy novel called The White Squirrel, and
Mm.
I'm working on that as well. So I've got plenty to keep me busy.
There's plenty more coming.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Stay
Oh,
tuned.
I know what's exciting. Um, I just got a short romance, contemporary romance story accepted for an anthology.
Ooh,
So I'm excited
that is
about that too.
exciting.
Yeah,
It's always fun to be part of anthologies and see how your stories fit
do with
in
other
with.
people. Yes.
Yeah. It's like, ooh. Well, awesome. Um, what got you started in writing? What took you down this pathway?
Well, I was 9 years old, and I had just finished reading the actual novel written by Dodie Smith of 101 Dalmatians.
Mm.
Not the Disney version, but
Yep.
the actual British novel. And I loved it, and I was looking around for more books like that to read, and I couldn't find anything in, so I started writing my own.
Well, if you don't see what you want to read on the
Right?
shelf, write your
Exactly.
own.
Exactly.
Exactly. I highly encourage that.
So yeah, ever since I was 9, I've known I wanted to be a writer. Of course, little things like trying to make money got in the way of that.
You mean you had to go get a
A real
real?
job. Well, see, my parents were really practical, and while they supported my efforts, they were like, "Yeah, you better learn to some actual usable skills." So,
So that took you to U of M?
hmm hmm and I started out. I was going to be a psychology major and
Hmm.
be a counselor. And by the time I graduated from U of M, I first I went to double major English lit and psychology, and then I realized crazy people actually scared me. So
But they do make great writing content.
true. Um, but yeah, so I finished out with an English major, and then went to the master's program in English there as well, and got a job with a publishing company as soon as I finished my master's. But
Awesome. So with the publishing company, how long did that last? Was that like your
well, that was, I mean, I who knows how long I would have lasted there if I hadn't met my ex-husband, or or, or gotten involved with my ex-husband, and wound because I'd met him at U of M,
Okay.
but I wound up leaving that lovely job at the Gale Group
Mhm.
to go live with him in Arizona, and
Hmm.
eventually we got married and had kids and wound up in Texas. But and while that I was lucky because while my kids were little, I still did contract work for Gale. So
Okay.
yeah,
So you wound up in Texas from Michigan via Arizona.
yes, yes,
So you kind of slingshotted back a little bit.
a little bit. Well, hey, it reduced the drive on the Christmas trip home from 3 days to 2 days. So
Hey, that alone is an improvement, especially
exactly.
with children in
Exactly.
tow.
I gotta say, our, my kids were so good. They were such good travelers. They were just good kids.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Especially when you're traveling 2 to 3 days with them in the car.
yeah.
That helps.
hmm
I don't think my boys would have survived.
This was before the days of like video players in the van. That
Mhm.
we did it the primitive way.
Yeah.
My kids are in their 30s.
Yep. Yeah, there's always that. Do it the primitive way. Play the license plate game, which now there's an app for that.
Oh boy.
It keeps score because that's always what you need is additional scorekeeping aside from just the number of states.
Well, then you can't argue about it.
Well, yeah, that's true. Awesome. So you're going to be coming over to South Carolina, which is awesome because I finally get to meet you in person.
I know.
We've seen each
So
other
cool.
online for virtual festivals, and our friend Diana's going to be there. That
Yeah,
who's
I'm
the
excited.
mastermind behind those virtual festivals, and it's going to be a really good time. I am so excited to see because we actually have 7 states represented.
Awesome. Awesome.
So it's
But
like,
all with some ties to Michigan.
Actually, no, that's the
Oh,
amazing part.
okay,
Be-
okay,
because we have people, not that, let me revise that. Not that I know of.
okay, okay. Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, as I say, I had to rephrase that because and actually retract that because I know one of my South Carolina authors actually does have ties to Michigan. Besides me,
I understand.
um, we have North Carolina, of course, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Michigan,
And Texas,
Oklahoma,
too.
and Texas. I think that's all of them.
Yeah.
I think. So we've got it. I mean, we're gonna have so much fun. There's like 48-ish genres and somewhere like 175, right around that number of different book titles.
Hmm, cool.
I mean,
Good.
when you get that, first of all, getting 32 authors in the room that don't write the same genre, that is a lot of creativity. So we're gonna have a lot of fun.
I think so. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I can't wait to see you, and I will see you in October.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you for